Hello. There you go. Wow, look at this. I can't even believe it. I can't believe what I made. I gotta take a look at that. I'm so grateful in my life, right? Check this out. I got a full fledged studio here and so after last night, mind you, with that little rant that I went on, that embarrassing I'm sure you guys got a kick out of that, and a lot of you were laughing. I hope I would be dying laughing. I went back and watched it. I watch everything that I do. I listen to my own messages just to hear my voice. I'm very vain, but I'm not narcissistic, and I'm not. I'm accountable, right? I'm definitely I'm grateful first and foremost for my life. I was a heroin addict, crack smoking junkie, homeless, living on the subway in 2016. All right, I grew up in the Bronx. I came from a pretty decent family, broken home, but for the most part, there was a lot of love. And then I guess my mother was struggling with raising three kids on her own. My father he didn't get in the union yet, so he wasn't making decent money. He wasn't helping my mom. He would take us every weekend, but he didn't didn't give my mother any money. And then when I was like 8 years old, he got in the union, and everything changed. Like, I went from getting like the Skippies sneakers to the Nikes, and Christmas was I got everything I wanted on my list. But my mother, by then, it was too late. She started indulging in so my father would take us on the weekends, and my mother had us all week. From when I'm 2 years old, I got divorced. So on the weekends, my mother, what she started doing to make money, because she was on welfare, one of her fucking friends had a brilliant idea. Said, "Hey, sell this. Go to the bars, sell this cocaine." This is 35, 40 years ago, right? I'm 51 now. I was 8 years old when this happened. Go to the bars. Your kids are at their father's house. Sell this cocaine. You can make hundreds of dollars a night, and you don't have to worry about struggling anymore. So she started doing that. I would have anyone I know would have done that, especially. She never drank before that. She never did drugs or any of that stuff. And so somehow she started doing it, like, to stay up, I guess. Like, she said, that's what she said. And I believe her because I know my mom, and she didn't do it before that. So when she started doing it, she got addicted to it, and it took a hold of her like it did me when I was addicted to it, and it put me on the subway. Right? I grew up from a good family and decent household, and then I ended up 20 years later on the subway shooting heroin. So she's clean now, a lot of years, and everything is great. But that happened, and when that happened, she, I guess, I was like a lot of abuse, and she was always tired and strung out, and she would she would yell at me. She would yell. She would make me feel bad all the time, to the point where when I got older and it was time for someone introduced me to the drug, at first I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I seen what happened to my mother, so I'm not going to do that. But I didn't like how I felt, and I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. I was in the clubs, actually. I was in the Sound Factory. I'm the only one in there probably sober, right? Everybody's doing ecstasy and stuff. And my friend was like, just take it, man. You're going to have fun. Everybody's having fun. So I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, I took it. It was a lot of fun. I kept taking it. I liked how I felt so much that it just, it just took off like a wildfire. And then I kept having to do more and more. Like, it was a problem from the beginning. I started losing my job in the union. I couldn't keep my apartment now. I had to go back home and live with my father. It just became a mess. And then it stayed like that for many years. I got worse. And then ecstasy turned into cocaine. And then 5 years after that, it turned into crack. And then 5 years after that, it turned into heroin. And I just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And in the midst of all of that, like when it was cocaine, I stopped doing cocaine. And I was going to Narcotics Anonymous meetings. And then I stayed clean. I went back to work in the union, and I got everything back. And so the first setup I bought was a Rain Rotary MP 2015, or 16 rather, the original Rotary, with the external processor, XP, Expander 2016. And I had a Denon 2600 CD. It had a nice Odyssey box. It was dope. You could stand up in front of it. It had all the knobs. It was brand new. I paid $1,200 for the mixer and like $600 for the expander. I don't know what I paid for the I bought big booming speakers, like 15-inch speakers. I had a nice amplifier for it because the speakers weren't amp powered. The Denon 2600, I did not know how to mix with that thing at all. I did not know how to mix two CDs at all with that thing. So I started getting high again. I relapsed, and then I wound up selling it all for drugs. Then I got clean. That was in 2000, and I don't even remember, 4 or 5. Then 4 years later, 2008, I finally got clean again. And what did I buy? I didn't want to buy. I got back in the union. Every time I was always go back in the union. And when I went back in the union, I made top dollar, and I was able to buy myself equipment again. So I go back in the union, and then this time I didn't want to get the Rotary. Tractor was out in 2008. It was brand new. And I liked it. I remember I bought the first version of, it was $1,000 for the S4, the controller for tractor. And everybody I talked to was like, "Oh, no big DJs are using that." And I was like, "All right, whatever. Who cares?" You know? And I was mixing a tractor. And it was easy because it had the sync button. And I don't care about people what they think about the sync button. Actually, I'll tell you about the sync button now. I stopped using it recently because it does, and not because of the whole stigma with the, you're not a real DJ, you're not the art or whatever. Who gives a shit? If it fucking mixes and I don't have to do extra work to do it, then fine. The technology is there. I'm going to take advantage of it. But you could hear it doesn't flow like the track would normally without the, like it's syncopated. Not syncopated. That's the wrong word. It's like warped or something. You just hear something off in it. I hear something. So what I do now is I'll start with the sync button just to get the beat matched up. And then as soon as I hit play, the next button I'll hit is sync to turn it off so that it's not synced anymore, but it's still at the BPM of what I'm bringing in, of what I'm playing behind it. So that's cool. I want to get away from it ultimately. But, yeah. So I had the tractor, I had the controller. I was doing good for like 2 years. I wound up relapsing. I sold all of that stuff. Then it got worse than ever. That's when I ended up on the subway, and I was done for good. That event, me living on the subway, was like the bottom of bottoms. I'll never ever do that again. I'll never do that again. Never. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. If I don't go to meetings, I don't go to meal. You're gonna realize no. Between meeting Juana, right, her loving me and teaching me how to love myself, I love myself now. I learned so much. I'll never do that again. So here I am. And I got the best equipment that I've had to date. Between this Alpha Theater Euphonia mixer, these two Tractor X1 MK3s. I got 3 MacBook Pros now. I don't even need the other one. I'm selling it right now. I don't need it. Because every time I bought the MacBook Pro, it wasn't powerful enough. And now I finally got the one with the M1 Pro Max chip here. Just because I need it for Ableton. Push 3, amazing, incredible instrument, controller, standalone device, incredible. This is the Pioneer FX 1000, which I'd like to get an RMX 1000, but I don't even think I need it because I could probably do a lot of what the RMX 1000 does with the push. I really only use the delay on here. And sometimes one of the phases, depending. The Euphonia has great effects. I don't really need it, you know. The thing about the Euphonia, I don't know why they did this. These morons at Alpha Theater. I think they did it on purpose because there's no excuse. They put all of the effects, right? You got the high-pass filter, the delay, tape delay, echo, verb, reverb, shimmer, and external, which is the external here, the Pioneer. So if I'm on high pass filter, that's all fine and dandy. You can't, it's all on the same chain. Like I can't use the high pass filter and the delay at the same time. I'd have to switch off at either one or the other. Why would they do that? I'll tell you why they did that. Because they want you to buy the RMX 1000. So that's the only reason I could think of. Yeah, that's so stupid. That's not even fair that they did that. $5,000 mixer, and they're not gonna let you use 2 effects at the same time. Whatever. I didn't know it when I bought it, but whatever. I can't even use the RMX 1000 with the high pass filter because it's on the same. It's either or. So that's that. And then I got this new Arturia Keylab Essential 49, which also controls Ableton. And I'm learning a lot about it. So this is what I made today. I was able to put something together finally. And then I got to go get my food downstairs. I ordered a sandwich. I'm going to eat and I'll be back. Let me not blow the speakers out. Oh, and I forgot I have I got this awesome Alpha Recording Systems isolator. $1,700. Amazing. That was a dummy move. I put my phone on top of the speaker with the vibration and it knocked it off. Thank God I didn't break the screen. Damn, Steven. Anyway. Alright, I'm going to go get my food. I'm going to come back. I'm going to play a little more. Thank you.